We're all, I'm sure, very familiarized with court drama offerings, but what about when you apply that into the movie space? I mean, again, court TV fare we're familiar with, but a story like this has a similar energy, but this is more of a, I would say, prestige release, and it's coming from Hong Kong. I mean, again, I love to spotlight talent that perhaps can be found anywhere, really. You know, my taste in films are pretty extensive across the globe, really. I've loved this adventure. I've taken it into other avenues. I mean, we've got plenty of entertainment fare in America that's wildly competent, but I've been very impressed by other countries' offerings as well. I mean, specifically speaking as well in regards to Well Go USA Entertainment, they tend to carry a lot of international fare from what I have seen, and some of their work, at least of what I've watched in full, Shadow being a film I always regard or reverence. That film is so good. That's a Chinese martial arts action movie if you're not familiar. Wonderful release. I highly recommend it. Cannot speak on it enough. You need to watch it on Blu-ray if you choose to, and I would, again, highly encourage it. But the Sparring Partner sounds pretty interesting. This is a Hong Kong release, and I don't think I've covered too much film fare from Hong Kong, to be honest with you, but I'm always game again to see what's out there in the world. And this film has a quite ominous but interesting presentation. Again, like I said, a court-centered movie. We'll see what the appeal on this is, but I find the synopsis quite invigorating. This is what IMDb has to say on it. Based on a shocking case in real life, a young man partners with his friend to murder and dismember his parents. Ouch. Pleading not guilty to the crime, defense attorneys face each other as 9 jurors grapple with the truth. I mean, quite an ominous story in regards to setting, right? You're talking about dismembering, right? And a plot with a murder amongst a family. I mean, it's quite drastic. But I wonder how the story is going to go. I mean, is it going to tap into that story and that's what it's going to depict? Or again, is it going to focus on the subsequent court situation? I mean, I could see perhaps a mix of storytelling, flashback sequences perhaps to build that vision. We'll see what happens with it. But the Sparring Partner does sound pretty interesting. And again, like I said, I'm trying to gauge what's out there in regards to other entertainment fare in an international perspective. Let's see what materializes here with this project. I mean, again, I'm going to say based on the poster and the synopsis, it's pretty extensive and invigorating, at least on the first presentation. And from Well Go USA Entertainment, most of what I've covered at this point or seen, I've regarded with praise. So I'm gonna think of maintaining a positive disposition, and we'll see if the film awards that.
佢兩個咧喺3月2號嘅時候失蹤嘅，咁佢哋曾經話過自己會翻上大陸，但係到而家咧都仲未翻到。究竟佢兩個係去咗邊呢？
I mean, hopefully it's not too graphic.
有人同我哋透露喺上次
When you're talking about dismembering,
60多歲嘅夫婦，並將佢哋肢解。
maybe it's presented subtly just with a mention.
佢同第2被告早喺半年之前已經開始籌備殺人計劃。
係我殺死阿爸阿媽嘅。
究竟個肥仔有冇份？
係你教唆佢殺佢父母，你當嗰一次係一個預習。
屈我啦，我冇問題㗎，我
想問
你想問我點解要咁做？
你覺得喺咁樣嘅精神狀態底下去錄口供，對我當事人係咪恰當咧？
嗰份認罪口供佢自己親手簽。
I mean, it could be interesting. I don't know what the mass appeal is for a court-set story. Maybe it's the drama side of the family and the consequences of that that'll bring people in more fully.
第一被告聽日會唔會自辯？
我聽日諗下點講。
個肥仔其實係咪真係咁簡單？
But it's well presented. I mean, it's a much more subtle movie.
陪審團，你哋係咪已經有決定？
係。
Slower in pacing, but I appreciate that. I mean, everybody's tastes vary in regard to what your genre preferences are, perhaps the pacing of different entertainment projects, but this looks good. It looks, again, very competent in its presentation. I believe it's a very serious picture. That's what it's going for. It has that luster. And the film does seem to be jumping around in regards to its time period. I mean, there's some scenes here that seem to be set, like I'm going to say, in a World War II era. I'm assuming that's evolving the vision of the parent storyline. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know for sure. But maybe you're getting some background on them and perhaps what led in the circumstances of the family to at least the son and his friend murdering the son's parents. And it is based on a true story, that's acknowledged in the synopsis, and that certainly, I would say, gives it a bit of a drive. I like inspired by true stories or adapted from true stories type, films, and I think they do tend to bring people in. I mean, that realistic perspective, again, of the human journey, even to perhaps some of the more atrocious extents, seemingly. There's that... There's also that educational perspective, too, that people might like to look to cinema for a learning experience, again, based on real accounts. I'm just, again, not sure... I mean, again, I can tell from the poster, but it's got at least some awards attribution from a couple outlets. I wonder what the audience poll is going to be for this film. When does it release, and how? I don't know if IMDb specifies that. Well, it released earlier this year in Hong Kong, and I guess the closest date is November 18th, and a limited release. But the trailer, I believe, popped on my feed today. Did the trailer specify that? I didn't catch a date if it did. No. So at some point, it'll probably get a bit of a wider distribution. I wonder what it's going to look like in regards to acceptance from the mass audience. Because I think, again, of, let's say, court entertainment, and that's more like reality fodder. I think of, again, some of the entertainment programs or from a reality show genre. But this is, a dramatized court performance, but it also has that realistic backing. So it's kind of, it's a bit similar. It's not reality TV show material in any way. It's much more of a prestige film. I wonder if this program can pull in that type of audience, and just how extensive that reach would be. Are you somebody that enjoys court entertainment? How does this translate for you in your interest? Perhaps if you are interested, let's say, in more of the the reality entertainment offerings, would you be game for a film like The Sparring Partner? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, whatever perspective you come from, or perhaps you're just into maybe international fare as well, or, seemingly prestige movies, ones that are perhaps, again, of a smaller notoriety. Again, I'd love to give shout-outs to films like this that perhaps deserve that attribution, and The Sparring Partner, I mean, the way it's presented, the poster itself was quite a beauty to look at. With the black and white style, that's very endearing, gives off a real classic vibe. But even the presentation of the film itself, from its pacing and the energy, it's a very subtle, slow movie, but it's an experience you have to devour, I guess. It looks really good for a film presentation. Again, like I said, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below. I presumed it would be good because, again, of that Wilco USA Entertainment attribution, again, from what I'm familiar with from them. I figured it would be a competent release, and the trailer provides that feeling for me. We'll see how well it delivers, as the film gets a wider distribution outside of some, I guess, award circuits and crosses international borders from where it's existent right now, at least as far as what IMDb specifies. Maybe at some point we'll be getting a USA release date pretty soon, but I think it looks good. It's quite a charming portrayal. I'm definitely, interested to see where it goes from here and what the audience response is going to be, but I would imagine there are some people who perhaps would be interested in this type of program like me. Maybe it's that realistic story, maybe it's a sentimental journey that could be in some ways relatable to experiences you're familiar with, or, it's the international side to the fare, right? Again, like from what I've said, there are quite competent releases overseas. You just have to know where to find them, and, I tend to search quite avidly. And I'm oftentimes very delighted at what I find. And in the case of The Sparring Partner, I'm interested by it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.